All right, guys, so today we have 2025 Birmingham Supercross is back. We had that weekend off. I believe that's the only weekend that they don't race until Supercross is over. So 2025 Birmingham, kind of ignore the first lap because I didn't build the track to be taken this way. It's just the way you take it, off the start straight. We'll talk about the track. Kind of cool. Built two versions. So we have this one, and then I did a few laps in the track editor on the second one, so we'll switch over to that track here in a little bit. I almost didn't have a video. Sorry, this month has been kind of spotty. I enjoy doing these tracks. They're kind of fun. I like trying to make them fill out the stadium, look decent, have the correct layout with the right jumps, and try and find some fun rhythms. I think for the most part, our tracks have been pretty okay. I mean, they've been dropping, some quads and whatnot where I really didn't expect them to, but overall, I feel like our tracks, the few we've done, have been pretty okay. So, 2025 Birmingham, again, this wasn't the video I had planned. We had a horrible, huge one last winter storm here in Nebraska. I know probably nobody really cares, but lost power for quite a while, so it was pretty rough. But I had a different video planned for this week, but it didn't work out. So it's Supercross 25 stuff. We're gonna, I think it's a interesting video, and you'll probably see that next week. So this is what you get for today, and it's on PC if you want to try it. And we're gonna wait until we come back around to kind of do a track walk, and then the second half of the video has the second version, which was fun, but I don't feel like it was as good as this one. And I feel like the rhythms on this one were more consistent with what they might do. Now, that one really long rhythm section, the second one, after you come back, after you hit the finish line and then you hit that short rhythm section and then the long one, that rhythm section, for sure I could see them dropping a quad. Maybe on press day they could, but you know how it goes. Chase Sexton hit that quad. Was it Arlington? I'm not sure what track it was, but then they took it out or cut it down, so he couldn't really do it. But yeah, here we go. So we hit the finish line. We have a double, and then it appeared to be kind of a single jump. I don't think it was a wall or a roller, just kind of a single out to flat. Then I decided to go double, triple, double. I don't know. It really depends on how wide the first turn is. Maybe it's a single instead of a double, but that's what I did. Then we go triple, triple, basically triple all the way through. On the second track, this section is a bit different, but I really do feel like they could drop a quad down in there depending on how it's built. Then we go double, triple, double. It just felt right. Probably could go like triple, triple, whatever. So that's what I did. The whoops. I had somebody say something. I made a short for Indy, and I never showed that track here. And somebody was criticizing my whoops. I feel like they're pretty good. I mean, I put 2 spaces in between them, and we could do the third whoop. I do the second one because it feels better in the game, but somebody was criticizing them. I was like, what are you talking about? I feel like they're a little bit harder and feel better the way I do, but maybe not. Maybe that's just me. Then we hit the sand section, the bridge, cut back down the start, have a step on, step off single, the Supercross triple, and then we cut across the start for the finish line. So overall, I feel like my track is okay. I mean, go ahead and rate it. We used to do a series, Does Your Track Suck? And depending on Supercross 25 and, how that editor goes, I was thinking about maybe bringing it back. I don't know. Depends on if there's any, anybody wants to see it or people want to build tracks because, how that goes. So let me know how you think we did. I feel like it's okay. I think I always like having some line choice on tracks, and I know this version doesn't have a ton, but it just felt right. And somebody else did say, I did post a short on Instagram, and they were talking about the track, and they're like, oh, it looks pretty good. I feel like you did a pretty good job. They said the problem was with the track editor, and I would agree, is that the jumps, it just doesn't, they don't feel right when you try to do a replica. It feels like they're too spaced out, or they just don't flow together. They don't blend. It kind of feels like you just put one jump here, one jump, after it, and so on and so forth. So I agree with you. I think that is one thing that Milestone could do to improve the editor, to make the tracks, the jumps blend together a bit more. But I don't really know too much about Supercross 25 or how that editor is going to go, so I can't really talk about it because I've never tried it. But here we have the second version. Now, I didn't have it. We don't jump over the start straight. We go triple quad to the table. I know that's kind of a weird line. I feel like if they're going to do a quad, it'll probably be over or off that table. But I don't know. Just the way I was trying to build the track, it came out to work this way better. And the rest of it is pretty much the same. This is a bit different. Just a little bit, but overall I would say pretty much all of it is the same. Now, that step on, step off roller before the Supercross triple, that is a little bit different. I think it's a little bit harder to get on this version, but the biggest difference was the trip, or the quad to the top of that table in that second rhythm section. So this week, in my opinion, the track, I'm not saying it won't be really technical and really difficult for them to do, because there's been some what appeared to be really simple, easy tracks as far as a layout goes, but then when they race it, it was like really technical. I mean, you could have a really simple track, but if it's super ruddy, imagine Indy was just a bunch of doubles or whatever. As rough and ruddy as that track gets, it's still really technical, right? There was a year where I felt like Arlington was going to be a really easy, boring track. I don't remember what year it was. It was a few years ago. And it ended up being one of the better races of the year. So this track, it feels pretty standard. There are some 180s. There are some 90s. Hopefully there's some, opportunities to pass. I don't know. It was a few days ago. I did see the forecast. I don't know if they're going to have rain in Birmingham. It was a kind of a rain race the year before. They took out the whoops. Remember last year they took them out and it was just like rollers or whatever. So, mud races are fun. The year before there was way too many. I mean, it's just Mother Nature or whatever. But this year it's been pretty dry. So overall, I mean, we haven't really been doing these. I don't even know I've been watching the races, but like I said, I've had so much stuff going on kind of behind on the channel, just stressed out about it, but trying my best. The only thing I do know is that Webb, he has like a 10-point lead, doesn't he? Over Chase Sexton. Roxon is kind of climbing back into it. I believe Indy wasn't that great for him. He didn't get a great start. I don't know. I think he talked about it on a podcast or an interview, but I didn't catch it. So, I believe Webb kind of has the points lead. And, in my opinion, Chase Sexton, I want to say he's the fastest guy, and he probably is. As far as just raw speed, everybody says, and everybody's like, well, Webb doesn't have the raw speed, but he's got the racecraft, and when the track gets really rough or whatever, got to be in it to win it, yada, yada, yada. Webb has been pretty fast this year. I'm going to say it. It might be a hot take, but I feel like Webb has been pretty fast this year. His whoop speed is better. Just his overall speed has been there. I don't know. I don't think he's taken the number one spot in qualifying yet, but he's been there. So, I mean, you can't knock Webb for not having the raw speed. I think he's really been fast this year, and that's one thing I think he said he's been working on. There was an interview, I think it was Vital. Maybe it was an interview podcast with Vital, and they were talking to Webb, and they asked him about it and whatever, and he felt like his speed has been better. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Who's even winning? I think Deegan's leading because Indy was an East-West showdown. So I think Deegan is leading the West, but I'm not sure about the East. Is it Vial or does Anstey still have it? I'm not really sure, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I've been following it, but just kind of, I don't know. Haven't been trying to remember too much, and it's been a while since we did one of these tracks. I don't even remember the last replica we did, but this probably will be the last replica I do in Supercross 6, because if we do more or whatever, Supercross 25 is going to have the 2025 tracks, but if for some reason I decide to make a replica different from what's in the game, that would obviously be in that game. So this is probably the send-off for Supercross 6, but let me know in the comments what you guys think, how you think the weekend's going to go, and all that stuff. But you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.